And here we go. Another Perma Treat Wet Nose Wednesday,
Yay!
Tiffany. We love these. Always a good time, right?
I'm excited. I want to see some cute puppies today.
And we've got them, I assure you. And we want to welcome back to Perma Treat Wet Nose Wednesday our good friend Leslie from Old Dominion Humane Society on Lafayette. And we got a bunch of exciting stuff going on. First off, Leslie, you got some new digs behind you. Normally we talk to you when you're outside. Today you took it inside with a really good reason.
Yeah, so basically, the first week of February, we moved, but we didn't move far. We literally moved next door. So we are still in the same building. We are just in the suite next door. So you're still going to find us in the same place. It's just that now we have more room. And that means we have this fancy lobby. So I can actually be inside, even though it is nice today and I could have been outside. But it also means that we're growing. So not only do we have a new space, but that means we can accommodate more dogs and just our operation overall. So, you know, obviously we're talking about adoption this morning, but I always like to add the blip in that if you're not looking to adopt right now, but you're looking to maybe just welcome a dog into your home temporarily, we're always looking for new fosters. So go to olddominionhumanesociety.org under foster. You can apply for that. Puppies, you can foster puppies, older dogs, you name it. It can be a short-term commitment, a long-term commitment. We're super flexible. And then of course, we're always looking for volunteers. And so again, go to the website under volunteer. We have orientations running throughout the week, usually like at least one orientation per week. You just show up, we get you all set up, ready to go, and then you can come help us out in our new space. So, like I said, if you're not looking to adopt, you can still get involved with us. We'd love to have you.
I love it. Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, let's get into some animals. And, you know, earlier we were saying a lot of times we have a spread of age. We have puppies and then sort of young adults and then some seniors. Today, what were you calling it, Tiffany?
This is the tweens of the dogs.
This is the tween edition, I guess, right?
Yeah. So I'll mention we're not bringing any small puppies out today. However, if you are looking for a small puppy, right now we have about 80 of them in our care. Okay. So
wow.
As they become vetted and old enough, you know, weaned from mama, vetted, they come up on our website and you can apply for them. So just know, maybe if you don't see them today, you could see them tomorrow or the next day or the next day. So we have a ton of puppies. Just be patient and keep checking the website. So, but now we're going to do what we call the tweens, right?
Yeah.
The oldest dog today is 5. The youngest dog is 1. We're going to start with Kaya. She just came to us from Puerto Rico, and there's a picture of Kaya, and then I'm gonna back up, and you can see Kaya live. Come here, baby girl.
Oh, look at.
There she is.
Wow, what beautiful.
So
she's like, I just picked the butt.
Yes. So Kaya, basically, we just say that she's pretty much perfect in every way. I mean, she is super sweet, super compassionate with other dogs. You can see she's very well behaved. She's 2 years old. She came to us from Puerto Rico. She was in a foster there. So she definitely has been in a home environment and is ready to get back in a home environment. So that's her. Now, one thing we'll talk about, you notice, well, you probably can't notice, but on her back, she just has this little kind of brownish red spot. And that, we should talk about fleas. So she had fleas. She doesn't have fleas anymore. We've taken care of that. But that is kind of what Christy was saying. It's flea blood. So basically we've killed the fleas and she's healing up nicely there. So that is nothing long-term, and she will heal up perfectly and she will be completely white, snowy polar bear in, within a matter of weeks. But yeah, that's fine. You can see she's got her tail wagging. She doesn't have fleas anymore. Yeah, she's just, like I said, she's just super sweet. So she's not, even though she's a big dog, she really isn't much of a jumper. She's not gonna like. I'm laughing because our next dog is knocking over the camera. Kaya, she's a pretty calm dog, so she's not much of a jumper, and she does walk nicely on her leash too. So don't be intimidated and say, wow, she's a big girl, I couldn't handle her. You probably could if you're looking for a bigger dog. She's a really good big dog to consider. So that's Kaya. All right.
Love that.
Next baby up. She's already ready to go. This is Sasha. All right, let me
She's ready for her camera time.
Yeah, she's got energy this morning.
So Sasha is 2 years old, and she's also from Puerto Rico. And she's, even though we don't breed label here at Old Dominion, she's what you would call from the Santos breed, which is basically in Puerto Rico. You know, we talk about how they have so many street dogs. This is a very common dog in Puerto Rico. Tan, about 30 pounds or under, and that is exactly what Sasha is. She's a Santos. And you can see she's wagging her tail, super friendly. Hi. She is definitely what we'll say. She can hold her own. So even though she's do you see? Loves belly rubs.
Oh.
Wow, that's life right there. That's living.
I mean, if that doesn't say "take me home," I don't know what does. So hopefully somebody sees that. But like I said, she's a perfect size. So she's probably weighing in right about 30 pounds. So she's like a nice medium-sized dog, not super small, but definitely not large. And again, totally sweet. She is definitely a little bit of an alpha female, so she can hold her own. You know, she's not a shrinking violet, but that's Sasha. So about 2 years old. Brought to us from Puerto Rico, and if you ever want to look up the Santos breed, that is what Sasha is. All right,
adorable.
We got another girl for you. We're doing all the girls first, and then we're going to do the boys. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, so here is our 5-year-old girl. This is Clementine. Hi, baby. Now Clementine is a little bit more shy and reserved, but she does warm up, and she also came from Puerto Rico. Come here, baby girl. Hi. There she is. That's Clementine.
Aww.
So Clementine was in a foster home in Puerto Rico. So she's already lived with a family. And she just, like I said, she's kind of like Kaya. She's ready to go home and ready to resume a family life with a new family. She's here at the center with us, but she is ready to go home for sure. She's hanging out with all the other dogs in Little Dog Land and is ready to go home.
Oh, let's try to make that happen today.
Yeah. So like I said, she's quiet and like I said, a little bit more reserved, but super friendly and loving, just not she's going to lay low and then kind of move in with you. But she goes out and plays with the other dogs nicely. She walks nicely on the leash, just has to kind of get her, has to get her bearings and get used to being around here. So that's Clementine.
And what an adorable picture. It almost looks like Clementine is a horse,
yes.
Sort of, just trotting around the paddock or something. I don't know.
Right.
It's a great shot.
And from the picture, you can't tell what size she is because, it's hard unless you have a frame of reference. So you guys could see she is, again, probably more of like a small to medium-sized dog. She probably weighs about 25 pounds or so. So Kaya, we've got big girl Kaya, and then we've got Sasha and Clementine kind of in your small to medium range. And like I said, Clementine is 5. Next, we're going to hit up the boys. I don't know which boy is going to come out next. I think it might be Lucas. Well, here's Lucas. Let's see if it is Lucas. Oh, if there's a hitch, it's Lucas.
Just from the picture, it looks like Lucas is like the class clown, He's ready.
Yes, let's see. Is it Lucas? It is Lucas. All right. Well, let's
Lucas.
because Lucas needs a big intro. So we talk about teenagers today. Lucas is a prime example of a teenager, okay? He's 1 year old, so he's like not a puppy anymore, but he wants to have fun like a teenager. He wants to do his thing like a teenager. He plays hard, and then he likes to sleep like a teenager, right? So he's like all or nothing. So Lucas, let me tell you about him. He is definitely looking for a family that has an active lifestyle, okay? Because he's an active guy. I think he should probably have a fenced-in yard to burn out some of that energy. Another thing I'd say about Lucas is, at least right now, because he's 1, once in a while he gets mouthy and he puppy bites. So he's not biting to hurt, but he's just getting chewy. But because of that, probably not young children in the house, just because, little kids are not going to receive that as well as we are. Not that we love it either. But, okay, there you go. So we're going to, you can see, Lucas comes in hot.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
He's super social with other dogs, especially other dogs that like to play. He does, right. He'd be great at daycare. He does, obviously he walks well on a leash. He walks with enthusiasm on a leash, but he is leash trained. He could probably benefit from a harness. But again, he's young, so just keep that in mind. So if you're looking for kind of a puppy who's not a puppy anymore, that could be Lucas for you, okay? I mean, he's a beautiful dog. He's got the best looking eyes. He's a handsome fellow. And you can see, I mean, he loves people a lot.
Aw.
Yeah, that's great. Look at him walking around on 2 legs. I mean, that's he doesn't need all 4. He spends most of his time standing.
Yeah, and like you said, he's one of those. I do want to let you know, like if you see Lucas and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much dog. He plays hard, but then he knows how to rest after he's played hard. So just know he's not going to play hard 24/7. He is going to chill out after he burns off that initial energy. Or like I said, you have a fenced in yard. He's going to go out, run around, do some laps, get his zoomies out, and then he's going to come in and chill out for you. And he is crate trained as well. So if you're looking for a dog that can be in a crate, that would be Lucas. So
Awesome. What a great dog.
but yeah,
Do we have one more?
He's definitely the teen of the bunch today. He's kind of our, our party boy.
Gotcha.
And next we're going to bring out Tanner. Tanner is 2. And you can see Tanner's demeanor is going to be completely different than Lucas's demeanor. He is just really a sweet, sweet boy. He's pretty quiet. And he walks really nice on his leash. He's like a dream come true. I love to take Tanner for a walk because he just stands beside me and walks along. He does get along with other dogs as well. The only thing you'll notice about Tanner, when we got him, he came in kind of skinny, and he's still skinny. So we're trying to put some weight on him. And when he gets adopted, if it's your specialty to fatten up dogs, you can fatten up Tanner a little bit. The thing about Tanner is he is a little bit food aggressive. Who can blame him? He's skinny. So if you have another dog in the house, not to say they can't be friends, but you should definitely feed your dogs separately, okay? And in general, just so you know, that's just a good rule. If you have a pack of dogs, to always feed your dogs separately. My dogs, obviously, they love each other. They curl up on the bed with each other, but they do not eat that close to each other because, if one tries to move in on another one's meal, we hear about it. So that's Tanner's one thing. He's just a little bit food aggressive. So, and like I said, he's skinny, so you can't blame him. So here he is.
Well,
come here, Mr. Tanner. Hi, buddy. Hi. Here he is. Hi, buddy. You say hi.
Oh, it's for the camera.
Look at my face. Yeah. There he is.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love him because his head is like, 3 times the size of his body. He is a total love bug. I mean, everybody who meets Tanner loves Tanner. So hopefully somebody who is watching this and listening to this loves Tanner too, because he definitely deserves a good home. He's a good boy. He's going to sit
wow.
right now. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's great. By the way, we have the same problem in my household with my wife and I. If we sit to dinner, she has to sit 6 feet apart because she knows I'm going to move in on her plate at some point during the meal.
That's right. Right. Exactly. Right. I have, my kids are older now, but even then, like I get something, they're like, oh, can you share? I'm like, no, I don't want to share.
I love that phrase, food aggressive. That's me. I'm food aggressive.
No.
Oh, that's funny. Leslie, that is fantastic.
So Tanner, like I said, even though he's got a big head, he still kind of qualifies for a medium-sized dog. And finally, we're going to end with a little dog. But even though he's little, he is full of life. Biscuit is just, he's full of love. He's full of life. He's full of enthusiasm. When you see him, his tail goes everything about Biscuit is just, he exudes happiness, all right? So you can see him in the background with his tail. I'll pick him up here in a second. There we go. Come here, Biscuit. Hey, you want a cookie? Come here. So this is Biscuit. Biscuit is 3 years old. Hey, buddy. Hi. And he gets along great with other dogs. He loves people. He loves kids. He likes to play as well and likes to go for walks, but he also loves to curl up in the sun on a good dog bed too. The one thing you should know about Biscuit, if you see him and you fall in love with him, he does have heartworms. He's heartworm positive. So if you want to adopt him, then the cost of the heartworm treatment would be on the adopter. As long as if we have him, we're going to get him treated for heartworms. But if he does get adopted prior to his heartworm treatment, that responsibility is on you. Just so you know, we have a lot of dogs that are heartworm positive that get adopted. We just ask that people who are interested in heartworm positive dogs call their vet, get information on what it involves and the price and everything like that. So, and unfortunately, when you're dealing with strays, a lot of those dogs have heartworms because they're not receiving heartworm preventative, and then they get bit by a mosquito that's carrying it, and then they get it. So it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have dogs at home, I like to preach, but heartworm preventative is actually really, really cheap. And it's so important because if your dog does get heartworm, it's bad for them, first of all, and treating it, is a lot more expensive than just putting them on heartworm preventative. So that's my little preach to the choir today. I won't preach anymore. That's it.
But a valuable one. I think it's great information to get out there for whether you're a current dog owner or a prospective dog owner. It's very important to remember those things.
It is.
And what a great.
We do see a lot of dogs coming in with heartworms, and it's sad because I wish we didn't. And it is, like Biscuit, he's a perfect little guy, but it is harder to get him adopted because he has heartworms. Whereas, if he didn't have heartworms, he probably would have been adopted like 2 days after we got him. So anyway, hopefully somebody out there is willing to take on that responsibility because he's awesome and he's so sweet.
And as are all the dogs you brought today. And he can still hear you. But thank you so much, Leslie. Old Dominion Humane Society in their new digs, still in the same building there on Lafayette Boulevard. So you're still where you always have been, just in a nicer nicer environment now, which is great.
Yes. So if you go to the old side, if you show up there, you'll see we have a little sign that just says "Walk to the door next door." You've still found us. We're still here. So.
I love it. Thank you so much for the time, Leslie. Always a pleasure. Thank you for bringing the dogs today. We hope we get them all adopted. And if you're watching this, even if you're not looking for a dog, maybe you know someone who is, go ahead and share this to them so they can see the dogs. Let's get them all adopted today.
Yes. And come see us to volunteer, to foster, to donate. Come see us no matter what. We want you. Have a great day, you guys. Thank you for having me again.
Always a pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you, Leslie. Bye.